Welcome to our Getting Started series of tutorials. In this short video, I'll be demonstrating the basics of adding and manipulating streets. Some of what I'm going to cover may be familiar to existing users of our products. However, there are a few things that are different that are important to understand. Hopefully, you may also discover a few new or alternative ways of doing things. Let's go ahead and get started. Most likely, the first thing you will do when starting a new diagram will be adding a street or two. Depending on the nature of the accident you are diagramming, you may be able to choose from one of our templates. Simply click on the Start with a Template link on the diagram editor. There are three default categories to choose from: intersection, curve, and interchange. Once you have identified a template that is suitable for your purposes, simply click on it and then click OK. Alternatively, simply double-clicking on the desired template will open it in the drawing editor. Sometimes there isn't a template appropriate for the diagram you are trying to create. In that case, you can add the streets manually. Simply drag out a street segment from the symbol manager on the right. Alternatively, you can draw a street segment using the Street tool located on the Draw tab at the top of the editor. Once you have added a street to the diagram surface, you can move it by simply clicking on it and dragging it to where you want. Streets and most every other object, for that matter, may also be moved by selecting them and then using the keyboard's arrow keys. This can be useful if you need to adjust the position of an object more precisely. Holding down the Shift key while pressing the arrow key will also move the object, but in larger increments. Once you have selected a street, you will notice that an assortment of lime green objects appear on the street. These shapes will allow you to manipulate the street in one way or another. Squares at the end of the street allow you to lengthen or shorten the street. The middle selection handle adds a curve to the street segment. Dragging the triangles at the corners of a street add an inner or outer turn bay. Creating an intersection is as easy as dragging a street segment over another street. Of course, in the real world, not every street segment has two 10-foot wide lanes. More than likely, you'll need to adjust the number of lanes and possibly their width. To do this, we will open the Properties pane. By default, the Lanes tab will be selected. From this dialog, you'll be able to adjust the number of lanes in the street as well as the default lane width. From here, you can also add a divider to the street. There are three divider types available: a wide divider, a painted divider, and a two-way left turn divider. To remove a divider from the street, select None. You can also modify the width of individual lanes, dividers, and shoulders. Once the Properties pane is open, click on an individual lane to select it. Use the Lane Width selector to make the lane bigger or smaller. In certain circumstances, you may need to draw a street segment that isn't straight, or you may need to add more than a simple curve to the street. To address this, we provide different profiles that can be applied to a street to accommodate these cases. To change the profile of a street, simply right-click upon it and hover over the Set Profile menu option. The first profile I want to demonstrate is the Double Arc profile. This is most commonly used to create an S-style curve. Once you've selected the Double Arc profile, you will notice that two new selection handles are added to the center stripe of the street. Drag each of the new handles to create the desired S effect. There are a few other profiles available to help you out when you need it. I encourage you to play around with them a bit on your own, just to familiarize yourself with them. You may not need them very often, but when you do, they are useful to know about. You can also create your own profiles by splitting a street segment. Right-click on the street and select Split Segment. You can add as many segments as you need. Segments can also be merged. Again, right-click between the segments you want merged and select Merge Segment. Thank you for taking the time to watch this short video.